Hello and welcome to another Salesforce and Trailhead tutorial with myself, Jonathan Fox, and today I'm going to be going over decorators. So Lightning Web Component has three decorators: AtAPI, AtTrack, and AtWire. And I'll be going through what each of those do in a really quick overview. So if we look here, I have my private variable, my public AtAPI, and my tracked. And if we have a look here, what I have is my private variable, no decorator, my public variable with AtAPI, and my tracked variable with AtTrack. If I was to type hello here, nothing happens. What we can see if I quickly inspect the browser's console log here, I can see that the actual variable itself has changed. So we do know that it is setting to that variable within the JavaScript, but you can see that this isn't changing. Public variable. This is the one decorated with AtAPI, and as you can see this time, that is changing on the back on the JavaScript, and we can also see that it is also changing here, and that's because AtAPI makes the variable not only public, but it makes it reactive, and a reactive variable re-renders the DOM when it's changed. Likewise, so does this one. Now the difference between AtTrack and AtAPI, AtTrack is still private, which means this Lightning Web component can interact with it. However, AtAPI is reactive still, but it's public, which means the parent component can interact with it. So the component in which it's in the same DOM hierarchy. Here, what we can see is, yes, it doesn't change. However, if we change one of these, the DOM is going to re-render because this one is reactive, and we can see that now that has changed because it's re-rendered the whole thing. What I want to show you here is this is part of the parent component, and because I have an AtAPI on here, I'm referencing it from my parent, so I can actually change it from here. And that's the difference between AtAPI and AtTrack. We have then got our wire method. So we've looked at AtAPI and we've looked at track. And here I've got a different example of wire. So on this example, I'll show you the Lightning Web component. I have a Lightning Web component here that shows us where people are on a map. I might want to filter that, and I need these filter criteria. These are just pick list values on the object itself. However, if I was to add a new pick list value to this object, I want it to reflect here. I don't want to hard code these values. So what I need to do is use an @wire, because I want it initially straight away when the Lightning Web component connects, I want it to go away and get the object info, which is utilizing the out of the box for Lightning Web components, the UI object info API, and I'm getting the information for my object. Now my object is here, this custom object, and I'm just assigning it that name. Now I don't want to go away and get my pick list values before I've got this object information. And the way I do that is they're both @wire. So as I say, this is the difference. It happens initially straight away, but what I can also do is either with the static variable here, I've got the information, I go away and get it, and then I'm assigning it to this property here. However, what I've done, rather than just using this property, I've put a $sign and put it within quote marks, which makes it dynamic, and that's the difference between reactive and dynamic. This now means, should this change, this wire method will get triggered again. So that means that changes, any dependent on that, any method dependent on that will trigger again, which means this was null, nothing will come back for my field names. However, this now is available, we've got something for it, so now I'm going to get my pick list fields. And the difference between @wire, and we'll have a look at a different Apex method. So we have one in our other on our original component is here. This Apex method here gets called on click of a button, which clicks this function. whereas on that previous example, that only happened initially at the very beginning when it connected. I hope that was useful, and I hope that enabled you to have that little insight into what the decorators do. And until next time, thank you very much.